Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Banjamin Lee. Russian forces attacked Ukraine overnight on April 14th, using 4 guided missiles and 129 strike drones across Ukrainian territory. Ukrainian Air Force Command recorded drone impacts across 8 locations during the attacks. Russian forces carried out a mass drone strike, damaging civilian and port infrastructure in the southern part of the Odessa region. A civilian vessel flying the Panamanian flag was damaged during the strike in Izmail. One of the impacts caused a fire, which was quickly extinguished. The attack also damaged a pier, a barge, and port equipment with no casualties reported. A Russian drone struck an administrative building, causing damage but no casualties in the center of Chernihiv. Russian forces struck a residential building and wounded 1 woman after hitting a balcony of a multi-story apartment block in Kharkiv. Meanwhile, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant lost its external power supply after the last transmission line stopped working in the morning. Backup diesel generators were automatically activated to maintain safety systems at the plant. The International Atomic Energy Agency team present at the site is monitoring the situation. The agency warned that the loss of external power once again highlights ongoing nuclear safety risks during the conflict. The agency is also in talks with both sides about a possible local ceasefire to allow repairs to another power line that could restore the plant's external electricity supply. In Russia, Ukrainian drones struck infrastructure, killed 1 woman, and wounded 5 people during an attack on the city of Yelets in the Leptitsk region. Analysts say the likely target was the city's industrial area. On the front line, Ukrainian forces are conducting counterattacks and attempting to regain lost positions in the border areas in the northern Sumy region. Reports also accuse Russian forces of executing captured Ukrainian soldiers in a recently occupied settlement along the front line in the Kharkiv region. According to Deep State, Russian troops captured 4 Ukrainian servicemen and later shot them. The claim is supported by drone footage cited by the project. In the Konstantinivka, Russian forces are also expanding their presence in the contested gray zone areas and trying to improve their tactical positions through gradual advances along the front line. Fighting remains active, with both sides attempting to shift control through small-scale assaults and counterattacks rather than large breakthroughs. Even in the very depths of war, there is still room for humanity. While Russian forces are destroying everything in its path, Ukrainian soldiers from the Ghost Unit of the 63rd Separate Mechanized Brigade carried out an unusual rescue operation right on the front lines. It turns out that a young roe deer frightened by the shelling had become entangled in an anti-drone net. The animal was completely exhausted and terrified when soldiers carefully cut through the entanglement, freeing the roe deer from its mesh prison. Once freed, the animal disappeared into the forest in a matter of seconds. This incident is a special illustration of what Ukrainian soldiers are truly fighting for. They defend not only their borders, but all of life on their land.
Ножницы сюда. Видишь? Вылезай тут, сверху вылезай. Спи.
Ukraine's 10th Separate Mountain Assault Brigade has successfully taken down another high-value target, a Russian heavy hexacopter. This type of aircraft is often used for remote mining or bombing runs using heavy munitions. Shooting down such aircraft is of critical importance as they are capable of carrying heavy payloads and inflicting significant damage on the front lines. Now let's turn to the left bank of the Kherson region, the town of Oleshky. Once a thriving satellite town of the region's capital, it has now turned into a humanitarian disaster zone hidden from the world by Russian barbed wire and checkpoints. The city, which suffered catastrophic flooding after the Kharkov Dam was blown up, has yet to recover from the blow, finding itself held hostage by the occupying administration. The reach of Ukraine's strikes continue to expand, extending deep into Russian territory. This time, a military-industrial complex facility in Russia's Vologda region, more than 800 kilometers from the border with Ukraine, came under attack. A chemical enterprise serving the needs of the Russian defense sector has become a target for long-range weapons. The best assessment of the Russian air defense system came from the voices of locals who filmed the arrival of their smartphones. Now, instead of heroic reports, they deliver a harsh reality. Let's take a look.
Ваня, ну Ваня, контент пилит.
Стреляют вроде.
Да, пытаются. Смотри, он опять так же начинает делать. Сейчас воду вон. Смотри, ведь они не могут попасть. Да потому что инвалиды одни-то. О, пошел вниз, все. Сбили. Бах,
В воздухе сбили, да?
Да, повезло.
Прямо в бочке он ложится. Ага, я видел.
Слушай, повезло, да. Я думал, в бочку попал.
On the outskirts of Konstantinivka, the war is taking on new insidious forms. Russian occupiers are increasingly using long-range ambush tactics to target and hit Ukraine's FPV drones, striking roofs in need of repair, as well as other infrastructure elements. However, Ukrainian soldiers of the 24th Separate Mechanized Brigade, named after King Danilo, have developed effective countermeasures against these technological traps. Every drone shot down on the road saves the life of a Ukrainian driver, medic, or infantryman. The road to Konstantinivka remains a vital logistic route, and its safety is ensured by the round-the-clock efforts of Ukrainian anti-drone teams.
Попали. Люди є? Точно в хаті нема?
And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.